Ruy Lopez opening, Berlin defense, 4.d3 d6. Sudden a close game that was lost by a mistake. That game was pretty competitive. The opening was balanced. White was a cut above black in the middle game. The players battled pretty evenly in the end game. Sharp games are frequently the result of starting with the king's pawn since it dominates the center and frees up the bishop and queen on the light squares. A typical answer is e5, which builds a position in the middle, controls d4, and frees up the queen and bishop on the dark square. The move nf3 advances the knight toward the center, engages the e5 piece in combat, and sets up a castle. nc6 defends the pawn on e5, advances the knight toward the center, and scans the d4 square. The Ruy Lopez opening develops the bishop to immediately attack the knight on c6, the lone defender of the e5 pawn. nf6 advances the knight and engages in an attack on the exposed e4 pawn. d3 protects the e4 pawn and allows the dark squared bishop to develop. d6 defends the e5 pawn and allows the light squared bishop to develop. Castling gets the king to a safer square, out of the center of the board, while also developing a rook. Castling kingside tends to be safer because the king is further from the center. By growing a bishop from its initial square, this activates it. Castling gets the king to a safer square, out of the center of the board, while also developing a rook. Castling to the same side of the board as the opponent avoids some of the attacking associated with opposite side castling. A pawn kicks the opposing bishop, forcing it to move or risk being captured. The bishop is now in a secure position. This kicks an opposing bishop. The bishop is now in a secure position. Games Master. It is the final book action. This keeps the material balance in check with good commerce. It is quite good. Backs off. It is ideal. This develops a knight from its starting square, activating it. That's good. This enables the adversary to strike a bishop. It is incorrect. By doing this, a queen moves off of its beginning square and into the action. It is quite good. This enables the adversary to kick the bishop. It is incorrect. This is a missed chance to stomp on a bishop. It is incorrect. While not a mistake, that is also not the wisest course of action. That's good. This gains time by putting a queen in danger and getting it to flee. It is quite good. This move puts the queen on a safer square. It is best. A knight could be pinned by this. It is ideal. This exchange is fair. It is quite good. Recaptures. It is ideal. What I would have advised is that. It is ideal. This defends the attacked pawn. This is the only good move. It is a great move. Although the score was nearly equal, White now has the upper hand. It is incorrect. This ignores an opportunity to kick a bishop. This allows the opponent to take an open file with a rook. It is an inaccuracy. This takes an open file, a common method for activating a rook. It is best. This pins a knight, which restricts its mobility. This threatens to win material. It is best. By elevating it to the 7th rank, this poses a threat of activating a rook. That's good. This exposes an attack, threatening a pawn. This threatens to kick a knight. It is good. It is a fair deal after all captures. It is ideal. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. It is best. There was just one smart move to be made. It is incorrect. The pawn is now suitably protected. It is quite good. Very precise. It is best. A pawn that was being attacked and had no defenses is now protected by this. It is quite good. This misses a chance to strengthen a knight's defense by adding a defender. It is incorrect. This allows the opponent to reveal an attack on a queen. It is an inaccuracy. This reveals an attack that poses a threat to a queen. That's good. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. This is the only good move. It is best. This is an equal trade. It is best. This threatens to kick a rook. This permits the opponent to win a tempo by threatening a rook. It is an inaccuracy. This causes material loss. It is incorrect. This is winning stuff. It is a wise decision. The rook is now on a square that is more secure. It is quite good. This is winning stuff. It is ideal. The best choice is this one. It is ideal. Backs off. It is ideal. That gets you a knight. That's good. As a result, the rooks are placed in a single file and are able to cooperate to pose a danger. It is quite good. Capturing that knight wins material. This threatens to reveal an attack on a bishop. It is best. This moves the bishop to a better location, allowing it to control more squares. This stops the opponent from being able to reveal an attack on a bishop. It is best. This poses a fork piece threat. It is quite good. This makes it impossible for the adversary to fork parts. It is quite good. This deters an assault on a pawn that is weak. It is quite good. This strikes a rival knight. It is quite good. The knight is now on a square that is more secure. It is ideal. This suggests exchanging items of equivalent value. That's good. Perfectly on point. It is ideal. This is not the right idea. It is an inaccuracy. What I would have advised is that. It is ideal. Very precise. It is best. This misses an opportunity to increase a bishop's scope by moving it to a better square. It is an inaccuracy. This misses a chance to make a bishop winning threat. It is incorrect. This misses a chance to improve a bishop's square and broaden its range. It is incorrect. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. This is the only move that works. It is a great move. This wins time by threatening a bishop and forcing it to retreat away. It is ideal. The bishop is now on a square that is more secure. That's good. By posing a threat to a bishop and compelling it to flee, this gains a tempo. That's good. This wins a tempo by threatening a rook and forcing it to move away. It is best. The rook is now in a safe position. That's good. This provides an equal exchange of parts. It is ideal. This is an equal trade. It is best. Recaptures. It is ideal. That's a decent move. That's good. This is not the best. It is an inaccuracy. Takes back. This is the start of the endgame and black is losing. It is best. The best choice is this one. It is ideal. Among the best actions. It is quite good. This captures a vulnerable pawn. It is best. That is a logical response. It is quite good. By moving it from the back rank, this activates the king in the endgame. It is quite good. A solid choice. It is excellent. A very strong play. It is excellent. This shifts the bishop to a square with more activity, giving it greater scope. It is quite good. Among the best actions. It is quite good. That's fine. It is good. This shifts the bishop to a square with more activity, giving it greater scope. It is quite good. That is a logical response. It is quite good. A solid choice. It is excellent. A very strong play. It is excellent. Among the best actions. It is quite good. That is a logical response. It is quite good. A solid choice. It is excellent. A very strong play. It is excellent. It is a fair deal after all captures. It is quite good. Recaptures. It is ideal. This evades the check from the pawn. It is best. Sudden a close game that was lost by a mistake. That game was pretty competitive. The opening was balanced. White was a cut above black in the middle game. The players battled pretty evenly in the end game. One of the best moves. It is excellent. Sudden a close game that was lost by a mistake. That game was pretty competitive. The opening was balanced. White was a cut above black in the middle game. The players battled pretty evenly in the end game.